I figured I'd give myself some applause, everybody. What the hell? I know you're applauding me, but I just can't hear you. So I figured I'd, bring it in, bring some flavor, bring some of your vibes to the show. Thanks, everybody, for joining. It's a live stream on a Wednesday, 1 o'clock. I figured, what the hell? I think I did this last week on a Wednesday, and it worked out pretty well. So this time I'm going to avoid saying anything that gets me demonetized like last time. I think I called the president of the company. I made some pun off of his last name, and that was the end of that. So 9 people watching. What's up, guys? Teresa's here. Daniel's in the house. Decado 1628. Howdy. Mark, what's up, buddy? You got the devil fingers going on there. Thanks for watching, guys. So today I figured I'm going to break from the pattern and do a little, something's been bugging me. Every once in a while I get into this rant, builds. And I was taking a shower this morning. I'm like, God damn it. So I'm like, I'm going to do a video on it. So I figured, what the hell? Let's do it. It all started with, the crap going on with orcs. The last couple different crappy things going on with orcs, and then I saw Mike Mearls did an interview. It was just, it had just a lot of things churning. So it made me think, as a sort of a summary, it made me say that, Wizards of the Coast, they lack vision, they lack soul, and they're paying the price. Wizards keeps failing. First, they promised D&D 2024 for the 50th anniversary of the game. Well, we got 2 of the 3 books, so I guess it's D&D 2024 and 2/3, right? Then they promised the VTT to play it on. We got nothing. So I guess it's not ready for prime time yet, apparently. I took a look at the 2 books that are out, and honestly, I'll give credit where credit is due. The layout is decent. I like how they put the example to play up front. However, I'm not sure they should have described all the rules around play before they laid out classes and races. And yes, races, not species. I think that's a mistake. But sure, they probably spent millions of dollars on marketing studies to tell them that changing the layout around like that will make them tens of thousands of more dollars. So, that's how they work. Big companies. I used to work for one. I also, there's a minor thing, but I think you should have to choose race, then background, then class, because that's the order of a PC's life. First, you're born into a race, you develop some background skills, secondary profession or something like that. You're a farmer or whatever, and then you get a class. That seems logical, right? But who the hell am I? Speaking of race, and first they make orcs Mexicans, and then they take them away as monsters entirely out of the monster manual, so you can't even kill them. Orcs have ascended into legitimacy, I guess, and they are no longer bloodthirsty, evil creatures who rampage across the land, killing and doing heinous things to everyone they come across. Because there's no evil, right? There's no such thing anymore as evil. Apparently not. That just won't do in today's modern gaming scene. I, of course, have a totally different take on this. I did a whole video on why evil creatures are irredeemably evil in my game. Link is in the description below. But what I found most disturbing about these 2 books that I did see is the lack of any soul in this game. The books have nothing that jumps out at me. It's like paint by numbers RPG. You may as well just fed every RPG book that there ever was written into ChatGPT and said, create a soulless, lifeless, milquetoast RPG. And that's what it spit out. There's no life to it. It's like a golem, this thing, a lifeless creation, ugly and lifeless. Let's just start with the art. It's bland, it's uninspiring, and it lacks any real skill. And there's no style, that really stands out as cool. The only pieces I even noticed were the nostalgia bait ones. They had the Dragonlance heroes in one and the 80s cartoon kids in the other. Other than that, if you looked at the art and read none of the text, here's the challenge, guys. Look at the art, don't read the text. How would you describe the vibe of this game? Tell me about your impression of the game. Describe what you think the game is all about. About the only thing you can honestly say about the vibe is that it looks like a Seattle-based HR hiring department was heavily involved in putting together every single adventuring group. If you look at Lamentations of the Flame Princess by James Raggi and Hyperborea by Jeff Talanian, you get the vibe just by looking at the art alone. Wizards D&D 2024 and 2/3, nah, nothing. It's like a big old glass of piss-warm water. But, back to races and orcs and everything. Now, every race is the same. Talk about blandness here. It seems like they're just a subset of human. Right? There's nothing that makes them stand out as being different. At one stage of PC generation, they just say, pick a background, a species, race, and 2 languages, and that's it. Everyone gets and does the exact same thing. And dwarves apparently bake cookies nowadays to bring to the boyfriends while they're working hard at the forge. Apparently somebody made that decision to put that fucking piece of art in the book instead of adventurers slaying dragons or exploring dungeons. Is it forges and cookies, or is it Dungeons and Dragons, right? Come on. Again, no creativity. Everything is whitewashed into being exactly the same. I don't think there's any creative people left there. They've either all jumped ship knowing that the goddamn thing is going down like the Titanic, or they can't. Or I think they probably just hire independent contractors for various projects nowadays. And these people have no skin in the game, none. They don't share a unified vision. It's like hiring a carpenter to make generic walls of a certain size for a house, not knowing what the house is even supposed to look like that the walls are going to go into. That's pretty much what they're doing for their development. And these talentless hacks just mass produce the walls to spec. That's all it is. It's like walls from Home Depot. That's all we're dealing with, Mike Mearls did a recent interview. This is what triggered me yesterday. It did an interview with Ben Riggs, and this is according to character sheets on comicsbooks.com, that YouTube channel. That's where I saw this. So he does this interview with Ben Riggs, and he says D&D is now uncool. He says the OGL thing hurt them really bad, paraphrasing here. And that while 2024 may be the best PHP ever, there's no excitement for it. He doesn't know if they could ever get that coolness or excitement level back ever again. He says it's a weird thing because like the TTRPG scene is flourishing, but for the first time, Wizards of the Coast and D&D is not flourishing along with it. He may not even make products compatible with the latest D&D editions anymore. I got to say, I think he's right. Because you can't design an RPG by committee. You need a unifying vision. There needs to be a creative force behind it. Mearls was that guy for D&D 2014. He knows what he's talking about. He was reaching out to the old school guys. He was getting into every single game he's ever played or run and using it as inspiration and really he was humble about it. He tried to figure out what people would like, what would go, and his vision carried this game to the new heights of sales. Along with, of course, the Beer Bug, Stranger Things, Big Bang Theory, and Critical Role, that is. But, he made the game that was perfectly situated at the right time and at the right place to take advantage of all that interest out there. But the current game, read through it. Tell me what it is other than a bunch of rules meant to offend absolutely no one and pander to absolutely everybody. Whatever's popular in the current geek zeitgeist, they're going to put it in the game. Want to play a furry? Sure, furry. Don't matter. Hey, who cares? Whatever, Setting verisimilitude, absolutely irrelevant. How about we start as a fighter, multi-class into barbarian at 3rd level, and then we'll do a wizard at 5th level. Okay, yeah, sure, no problem. It doesn't matter that barbarians come from a culture. You can't learn what you need to be born into and live for 20 or 25 years. It's a cultural thing. You can't just pick up a skill set. It's culture. You can't multi-class into Conan. It's stupid. And wizards. Oh, wizard school. 5 to 10 years to complete goddamn wizard school. You can't do it on a long rest while laying in a dungeon. That's dumb. Okay? It's because it's just a game to them. It's no different than the Monopoly game, but this one panders to the whiniest player base in the world. Ones who can't afford shit and live in their mother's basement still while working 20 hours a week at Starbucks if they're lucky, and while reading Harry Potter still in their spare time. I guess, that explains those 2 adventures that take place in a knockoff Hogwarts and that generic coffee shop with all the modern Seattle sensibilities set in a fantasy world. Both of which sold like shit, by the way, because, again, these people can't afford the fucking books. Starbucks jobs, people. Starbucks, all right? I noticed that the DMG focused on Greyhawk heavily as a default setting. That's probably because they fired everybody who knew anything about the 40 years of the Forgotten Realms history and all the lore. They can't publish anything because it would contradict lore and everybody would jump on their ass. So they figured, we got nobody left who knows the lore, and it's too hard to look at the Wikipedia for the Forgotten Realms and try to figure all that shit out. So why don't we just use something that nobody knows about, because they haven't put out anything for Greyhawk in like 2 generations probably, right? And so there's no lore or history there compared to the realms. In terms of vision, that the only thing these people who are still there, who haven't been able to jump ship yet, is talking about is monetizing the player base. So that's their vision, monetization of the player base, making more money off of us. That's the only vision they have. There's no vision for the game, no vision for settings, no vision for the future of the tabletop, anything, nothing. And their only unifying vision is to take every gold piece they can from us while delivering the bare minimum pasteurized, homogenized vitamin D shit in return. Want that blue glow to your sword and your VTT? Sure, $5. Cha-ching. They don't give a shit about the tabletop hobby itself. They just want a rule set they can plug into the VTT along with every product ever made so they can use AI to generate adventures and have AI DMs run them. Who needs creativity when you can mine the past for derivative computer-generated crap? Who needs a vision when you could grab from other people's visions who are great creators and take the best of it and combine it into some sort of Frankensteinian disaster? Who needs soul when you just steal your cash via microtransactions every time you want to play your damn game? I think the hacks that are still left at Wizards, they're probably polishing up their freaking resumes so they can get the hell out of there before the VTT crashes and burns and causes Hasbro stock to plunge. That's what I'd be doing, at least if I were them. I wouldn't be surprised if they're purposely dragging their feet on development of that VTT just so they could get the freaking new job before this thing drops like a big wet turd on the RPG scene. And I'm here for it. I cannot wait for this goddamn disaster. I can't wait. All right, guys, rant over. All right, back to the GM series tomorrow. Remember, anybody's listening here, I'm on Spotify, Apple, Rumble, and Locals. All right, Apple Podcasts too. So check me out there. Links are below. Here's the words. Here's the question. It's actually more of a question. At what point did you guys know that Wizards of the Coast was doomed to failure? What is it, when they OGLs, when they put out a certain product? When did you know that it was on all going downhill from here and it ain't coming back? I'm just curious because I think we all pretty much share that vision, that idea of it. So yeah, I wonder when that's all going to hit, you know. So who do we got here, guys? We got, all right, let's see. Hump Day. Yes, it is Hump Day, Teresa. Good afternoon. Thank you, Matthew Sherman. Good afternoon to you. Baldur's Gate doesn't count. Baldur's Gate was the only good thing they had coming. I think they forgot it was even in Generation. Race should be random. I don't know about race should be random. I think everybody should just pick their own damn race, but a race just should be different, you know. Somebody pointed back, yeah, in AD&D, all the playable races had a stat block in the monster manual. Yeah, every one of them did. They you could, you know, they're just generic. You could kill anything, you know, elves, halflings, anything, you know. I haven't looked at the new books. Are they all texts? No, they're not all text, but they're shit. There's nothing that stands out, you know, except the layout was good. I'll give them that. For the most part, the layout looked good, but you know, that's, you know, you mastered that pretty quickly, you know. They all got fired. I don't know. They're also filled with shitty art. Exactly. They replaced all their workers with AI. I don't know. Flint is here in the house. But neighbors, sorry, got cats in my keyboard. Darn cats. Swipe credit card to play another hour of VTT and continue sessions. Exactly. They want V&D to become to be Monopoly. Yeah, that's all it is, really. Tasha's was the Deathstroke. I agree. I called that Tasha's Cauldron of bullshit when it was out. It was terrible. Mark Goldfine says, I think the Efficient Master made that. I'm not sure who or what that is. S. Carl 16, Scar 16L. Maybe this will finally get people to graduate to games that aren't level-based resource and management games with minor elements of role-playing. I mean, to each your own. I don't care what game you play. I just think that basically what they need to do is have a game with heart and soul, with a vision behind it, and hire some people who actually love the game to create the game. That's it. I mean, that's what you need to do. People who love it, people who actually care, who can create something with passion, with heart, with feeling, with soul. And put somebody in charge. And you need a benevolent dictator. You know, you need a benevolent dictator with a vision, in charge, who can't be messed with, who could put something out that's good and then buy into it. All right. Stop putting all your damn money. This VTT is so gonna crash. Oh my God, it's gonna be terrible. Nobody's gonna do it. So, but you know, the good thing about it is that there's a lot of alternate stuff out there, and it's going to open up the market for other things like my RPG, perhaps in a couple years, you know? So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say, guys. And I got to go back to work here. So thank you very much for watching. It is, what was that, a 15-minute video? Not bad. And if you guys are getting this on, Rumble, Spotify, or Locals, I'm sorry about the delay, because I have to, for some reason, YouTube takes like a day to process live stream videos or whatever. So that's when I can download it the day after, and I'll put it up. So you'll probably get this tomorrow at some point after tomorrow's video goes up. It'll be a little bit out of order. Okay, but it's not one in the DM series anyway. Check that series out, guys. The link is in my playlist over there. It's probably going to be popping up at the end of this video. All right, thanks very much. Finfish, it's okay. You can just watch it on repeat, dude. Watch it on repeat. All right. So thanks very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.